Briefing commences in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome to a very special episode of Orms TV. Special because today we are coming to you all the way from London in the UK. Yes, you heard me right. Your boy here was lucky enough to nail an invite to Canon's biggest launch event in years. Tomorrow, on the 5th, Canon is having a massive global launch event, and we get to be there, and I am taking you guys along to show you exactly what Canon is bringing to the party. Even if you're only in London for 2 days and one whole day is going to be spent at a Canon event, you might as well see some of the sights. So we got a little Tower Bridge action over here and some Tower of London on that side. There, let me look. Yeah, there we go. So guys, we just had the announcement of this bad boy, the all-new Canon EOS R, and at first glance this thing looks absolutely amazing. So just to give you a little run through of the specs here, we're running a 30 megapixel Canon CMOS sensor coupled with a Digic 8, all-new Digic 8 processor. That's going to give you 8 frames per second continuous shooting if you have your autofocus locked, and 5 frames per second if you're doing tracking autofocus. So nothing to scoff at. That's relatively decent. You're also going to get 4K video at 30 frames per second. That's internal recording. If you output via the HDMI, you can get 4K, 10-bit with 422. So really decent. Couple that with the Canon log, C-log that you get in this unit as well, and that's going to push you to about 12 stops of dynamic range. So very useful for videographers as well. Also on the EOS R, you get dual pixel autofocus while shooting 4K video, and that is super handy because that's the first Canon mirrorless to give you that. So after that you get to the part that's actually a little bit ridiculous. 5,655 autofocus points. Just let that sink in for a little bit. I'll give you some time. 5,655 autofocus point. Don't even ask me how it's possible. It's got something to do with the dual pixel autofocus system, but basically anywhere on this screen where you touch, where you want an autofocus point to be, there is an autofocus point, and that is absolutely amazing. Right now the EOS R also has the world's fastest autofocus for any camera in this class. So in perfect conditions you'll get about 0.05 seconds acquisition, which is incredible. Like that's proper fast. It's faster than you could ever need autofocus to be, and very impressive. So I've had a little bit of hands-on time now. Everything that I've seen thus far has been really positive. For me, so far, no real negatives. Really enjoying using the camera. We're going to go out now, get some sample pics for you as well. So things that Canon have improved in the user experience. So for the first time on a Canon camera, every single button, every single dial can be customized. Now Canon has never done this before, and it's great to see them finally get into that game. All of your dials that you see can be set to whatever you want, and that's really great. A very cool thing that they've put onto all of the RF lenses that they started bringing out now is this ring over here. And you can see it's got a lovely little clicking action to it. That ring can also be set to any function you want. So you can set that to ISO, shutter speed, whatever you want. Aperture obviously being the logical choice, and that is great from Canon's side. Other manufacturers have done it, and it's great to see Canon finally come to the party. So at the top, little screen giving you all the info you want. Obviously rear screen, pretty standard stuff. Fold out LCD, perfect. You know, if you want to do a little vlogging action, good choice for that. Probably a little bit heavy, but nonetheless. Another thing that's pretty cool, on the back here, right over there, Canon put a little touch dial. So that little touchpad, again, you can set to be absolutely anything you want it to be. So I've got it set for ISO at the moment, and you literally just swipe over it and you change your ISO. Couldn't be easier if you tried. So let's have a look. There you go. So very, very easy to use, very intuitive, and I love that type of design. Something that Canon has been known for in the past, and seems like they lost a little bit in the middle. Let's hope they got it back. A criticism that is going to be launched at this camera is the following. Pop that open, and there is a single card slot. Now, no matter how you cut it, that is not perfect, but there is a reason for this. This camera, the EOS R, is not aimed at the hardcore professional market. This is aimed very much at the Canon 6D, Nikon D750, Sony A7 III kind of market, that mid-range pro camera. And at that point, a single card slot, in my opinion, is okay. I can live with that as long as I get decent battery life in return. And Canon has delivered on that front for sure. So you've got your standard LPE6 battery, which you guys who shoot Canon already will know is the battery that you find in your like 5Ds, your 6D, your 7D, all of that, exact same battery. And that is great. That is an excellent design choice, and I absolutely love it. Okay guys, so it's now Thursday morning, still here in London, and yesterday's launch event was insane. Canon pulled out all the stops, nothing left on the table. It was proper good. But at the end of the day, we have to talk about the gear that was released. So starting off with the big one, the Canon EOS R. What do I think of it? Well, as you could see from the pictures, the low light performance of that camera is incredible. It is better than I thought that Canon could produce, and they absolutely nailed it. The color rendition is fantastic. The video quality is good. The dynamic range is solid, and the sharpness and clarity that you get from that sensor is on par with anything else out there at the moment. Saying that though, there are some negatives, and let's start with sort of the big one out there at the moment, the single card slot. Now, if you look at that in isolation, then yes, that's terrible. You have a pro level camera with a single card slot, definitely not ideal. But if you take it where Canon is aiming this camera, and remember, it's not being aimed at a exclusively pro market. The EOS R is being aimed at the Canon 6D, the Nikon D750, and the Sony A7 Mark III market. And in that range, a single card slot is okay. I can deal with it. You've got Bluetooth and NFC to connect to your phone, so you can transfer and you can download and all of that. So I can live with it. It's not the end of the world. Some other little gripes that I picked up yesterday, which might just be because this is first generation firmware and it might get fixed before launch. If you're shooting video and you have your autofocus set for something specific and you transfer modes to stills, then for some reason it brings over your autofocus settings and vice versa. It doesn't retain the autofocus settings that you had in a specific mode. And that was irritating as the day is long. Also, the camera really struggled to maintain tracking face autofocus when shooting video. Now I know the lighting was terrible, it was very dimly lit, so maybe gonna give Canon a pass on that one, and we'll see how it performs when we actually get it outside in some daylight and see if it's better. Now, barring those small gripes, I really have nothing to complain about. This is also the first Canon camera that gives me some tactile feedback when you hold it, when you turn the dials, and actually feels like some effort went into it. It feels like a quality product. And in the past couple of years, that's pretty much something that I only got from Fuji and obviously at the other end of the spectrum, guys like Leica. Canon, keep that up. That is proper good. In terms of the lenses that were launched, the 50mm 1.2 magic. That thing is a beast. The 24-105, very solid as a kit lens. Unfortunately, I didn't get time to experience the 28-70 f2, but let's be honest, that thing's probably going to be ridiculous. It's the first lens of its kind, and I hope Canon nails it on that. So in conclusion, what Canon really did here was present a mission statement. Effectively, they know that they messed up in the mirrorless game. They know that when they came out with the first EOS M and those cameras, they weren't perfect and they have been slow in development. But coming out with something like the EOS R, putting that forward, and then bringing a solid selection of lenses with that, very much aimed at a pro and prosumer user, is a statement that to me says, we're here to stay and we're going to give it a solid go. Somewhere deep down inside, I believe that if you go out and you invest in this system, Canon is not going to disappoint you. If what I've seen over the last day is an indication of what's to come from Canon's mirrorless lineup, then we're in solid hands. And Canon did such a good job. They've absolutely nailed it with this camera. It is solid in every conceivable way, and I like it. I like it. Well guys, that's it from me, signing off from London. As always, if you enjoyed that video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We love hearing from you guys. Thank you very much.